Ahoy, you mateys, and welcome aboard. I'm Rattledy Bones, and today I got another video that's gonna rattle your bones. Yet again, we're talking about the Sea Lord Nova Online. For those who don't know, he's got himself wrapped up in another Discord fiasco, and this time it's full of degenerates. But it was last time too. Before we get started into this horrible mess, I wanted to first off to say, I was right. In my last video, where I live reacted to Nova Online's Nova Files by Bloodspeth, another important character in this video, I said that if they had the money, they would be just as bad as the people on the infamous island. You know what I'm talking about. And it goes to show that I was right. His Discord's full of awful things, including mentions of names of people who were on that island, and much horrible, horrible stuff. Before we get into the mess, one more time, I want to suggest and say that there will be a little bit of a warning. There will be a topic of essay, child pictures, and lolly drawings, if you know what I mean. Hopefully I don't have to go into it any more than that. So without further ado, let's dive on in. Nova Online first made a Discord, not the first one, but the first one we know of that was popular enough. It led to the infamous clip, "Not my server." Of course, this was due to a Discord of his getting taken over by trolls, rightfully so in my opinion, and he got upset about it. There was some moderation on the Discord, a lot of age verification, not a lot, but some of it. This time, in his new secret Discord server that was hidden, hidden with quotations, there was none of that. There was a few rules, and God, are those rules crazy. I'll put a list here. But man, is it wild. So, let's get into the the degeneracy of this barnacle. Now, none of this would be found out if it wasn't for people like Bloodspeth, Chin Universe, and of course, Smokey and Kiwi. Now, with a lot of the evidence we have online, above trolls and buddy trolls, especially with Cyrax and all of them, it only makes sense that eventually this would spill over to Nova Online. Now, we've seen Nova have a few buddy trolls, if you can call it that. Really, it was like 15-year-olds and stuff like that was working with him. But it would come on to see that, it gets worse than just buddy trolls. What these people are doing, this fan base that has surrounded Nova, especially in this Discord, they are like worse than buddy trolls. I mean, when I first made the Cyrax video and I had talked about Cassandra, someone who pretended to be his girlfriend, I gave a little to her and took a little from her. What I mean by this is I had criticism, but I had positive, feedback as well. One of my negative criticisms were that they weren't getting anything out of this. They were just making fun of someone. They weren't trying to like, hey, I got actual evidence that he's a horrible person trying to go after women that have children. None of that, which was my biggest, complaint with it. But this takes the cake. I mean, this makes Cassandra look like a godsend, an angel. These aren't buddy trolls. This is a cult following, and for some reason they chose Nova as the head of their cult. Kind of reminds me of the scene from Hereditary. If you know, you know. Anyhow, there was a lady named Alice. Alice made, obviously fake name, Alice made a TikTok about, her shrine to Nova, and, other videos about her loving Nova and how he's so cool and all this other stuff. Everybody, including myself, took that as buddy trolls. This is, get a load of this guy, making fun of Nova. Dime a dozen. Heck, even I'm doing it right now. But this would evolve into something much worse, mateys. Much worse. On their awful debacle Discord, they had a whole set of rules, including some stuff like not to mention someone certain's name, rhymes with Bepstein, if you know what I mean. And other things like no Bloodspeth, because Nova really hates Bloodspeth right now for the Nova Files, which, I mean, that's your fault, man. You're the one who was singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in a Sailor Moon costume with plushies to what you thought was an underage girl. That's on you. You did that, not him. He's just showing everybody your degeneracy. Here. Arr. Anyhow, this Discord's full of awful people who's probably worse than Nova, if that's even the case. The way I used to see it was in the worst the worst lolcows, in my opinion, who go after children would be like Cyrax, Jupiter, Nova, and Tofiachu. That'd be the list. It's a broad list. There's so many more people out there, but that's the the broad list of the major players in the lolcow universe. However, I think Nova's on the top now. That my whole list has been changed, and I think Nova's worse than Jupiter. And if for those who know who Jupiter the hybrid is, he's a real piece of crap. I mean, this dude's actively going after little girls and being like, "Oh, I'm a demon sent from Satan himself, and I'm gonna possess you," and all this other stuff. Maybe I should make a video on him one day, but really, the best person in the Jupiter universe is Linda. All right. So, with this awful Discord and these awful people and these awful rules, which I'll put here, this is just degeneracy gone wild. I mean, C-spam, which I didn't really know what that term was, but apparently it's like what you might think it is. Lollies, child stuff, you know what I mean? And they're posting this all in the Discord, sharing images, talking about it, allowing these young kids to be in this Discord server with him. Make no mistake, it's like I said before, he is actively trying to find a safe haven to do stuff with these minors. He is trying. And I'll tell you why. Some people who kind of suck and are terrible people who don't take showers ever will often not socialize with their peers because, I mean, look at most people Nova's age. They're not nasty, sweaty degenerates singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star to children online, right? So to people his age, he looks pretty stupid. I mean, to everybody he looks stupid, but, you know, he's uncool, he's not popular. But what these people do is they'll find these children who don't know any better, and then they'll push their way on them. What I mean by this is, you know, they'll show how they're so cool and all this other stuff, and or it's on the opposite spectrum of, oh, look at this relationship we could have, and even though I'm an adult, isn't this like, you know, something you would want? I've seen it time and time again. It's disgusting and it's horrible, and it boils my blood, rattles my bones that Nova Online is continuing to do this. He's a scallywag, and he deserves to walk the plank. No parlay on my ship. No parlay on anybody's ship. But that doesn't stop the chom, not at all. As if that wasn't enough, that he's surrounded himself by a cult-like following that all worship, like, and do stuff or share pictures with children and everything in between. He's also trying to dox creators that go after him, including Bloodspeth. Bloodspeth was the guy who got into this Discord server and basically leaked everything. The rules, the people in it, the underage, the just downright degeneracy of Nova and how he talks to these underage people. It's gross. He's surrounded himself by a Hassan-esque fart chamber where all the farts get reverbed back to one another. Now, I want to further explain this by first showing a clip of the shrine itself when Alice first made it.
Dear Nova, I truly wish I could give you my set of eyes and put them into yours so you could see how much of a cool, wonderful person you are.
Like I said in the beginning, at first, most of us took this as a joke, but as we can clearly see from the evidence on the Discord and everything else in between, which I'll add a little bit of here and there, these people are psychos, especially Alice, who seems to be one of the loudest voices and, you know, for Nova Online. This would lead to awful, awful things, as when Bloodspeth, when he would try to, you know, show everything on the Discord, they then threatened him, Alice then showing a gun, but taking back that statement and saying it was fake, but then trying to dox him. Nova posted what he thought was Bloodspeth's IP. It wasn't, thankfully, but he tried to silence him. Now, let me ask you this, mateys, me horror-y crew. Let me ask you something. It kind of sounds familiar, right? A group of people in a secret thing talking and doing stuff about children and then trying to cover up or threaten anyone who mentions it? What does that sound like? It sounds something so familiar for the Big 26. Am I right? Obviously, I'm referencing the files. It's, again, I was right. If these people had the money, they'd be doing it. They'd have their own freaking Epstein Island. You know what I mean? This is sickening. I've never been one to advocate for deplatforming someone, but I am genuinely worried about the children. He is actively trying. Worse than Cyrax, worse than Jupiter. This dude is actively trying to get a follow base that will not shy away when he starts doing children stuff or talking to children. In fact, from the Discord, it looks like people are with him and agreeing with him. Mateys, yeah, Captain Rattle thinks people are getting too comfortable with being sick mother effers. Am I right? I mean, with the world going on right now, so many people trying to say it's normal or it's a mental disorder and all this other stuff. You know what? Maybe it is a mental disorder, and I have a pill for it. It's called a 9mm. A little bullet. Swallow that, the back of your head. These people suck, man. Jesus. It's really awful when at every turn, trolls, YouTubers, people are holding these people accountable, and yet they're finding and going around new ways, as if they can somehow appropriate going after children. They are trying, especially people like Nova and Cyrax, who's constantly trying to dance around the subject while still trying to talk to minors, but then they'll go on their videos and say, no, it was debunked, or it was the trolls, or none of it's real. No, it is real. We see it. We've seen it again and again and again. Last week or two, we saw it in the Nova files. Now we're seeing it again in this Discord fiasco. It's not going to stop either, which is why I was talking about deplatforming someone. Hear me. It's like the call of all the pirates. Everybody who sells the seas. If I could say one thing to thee, it would be unfollow that prick. Right? Yeah, how does he have so many followers on TikTok? This is why he still thinks he can do stuff like this. And because of all the buddy trolls, all the people laughing at him and following him on his TikTok, he has a giant platform to get children in his Discord. I mean, let's not hand him the children on a silver platter. Stop following the dude. I've seen every YouTuber preach not touching the poop. Even I preach not touching the poop, which basically means don't interact with their channels at all. All my stuff goes through other YouTubers. Is that stealing? Maybe. I am a pirate, but I'm not about to go to Nova's TikTok to screen record him talking about his latest food or whatever. I'm not giving him that view, even if I was logged out. I'm not going to do that at all. There's plenty of other channels like Chin Universe and everybody else who is holding this dude accountable with all his awful clips. I can use that. That's what I'm going to use. That's what I'm going to keep using too. And for those of you who have a problem with it, I am sorry. But I am a pirate. You can't expect a pirate not to pirate. But moving on from my rant, Captain's rant. Captain gets one rant a day. Moving on from my rant, let's talk about more of the aftermath that came with this. After being outed by everybody on the internet, Nova then started speaking backwards. He started typing his words and conversations backwards because he was being blackmailed by these people now. The same people like Defender and Alice who are sharing CP, C-spam, lolly pictures with Nova and everybody else in this Discord are now apparently holding him hostage. Basically, he's pulling a Mudahar, throwing anybody he can that's close to him under the bus because the internet is now backlashing him. Of course, these are bad people, but let's not ever forget that who he surrounds himself with. Right? I mean, we're going to hold politicians to what they did. It's no different with some nasty YouTuber, you know what I mean? Or not YouTuber, technically he's a TikToker. His YouTube sucks. I might be a little harsh in this video, but boy, does it rattle my bones when I see people going after children. Anyhow, I don't like the fact that after everybody called him out, it's going Smokey, Kiwi, Bloodspeth, on Twitter, after Smokey and Kiwi's Too High for Stupid last Wednesday, or whenever they streamed about the Nova thing, they replied to like every one of their tweets with pictures of bloody underwear. All right, for those who didn't just hear me, or maybe you want a double take, they were replying to Smokey and Kiwi and other YouTubers talking about what Nova was doing, especially with this Discord, with pictures of bloody underwear. This isn't just your average troll. This isn't just a buddy troll gone wrong. These people are freaking sick. And you know what? They deserve to be right in the brig with Nova Online. Right there with him. My dream brig blunt rotation. Nova, Jupiter, Cyrax, the Leaping Lemur. These people are creeps, and they're doing horrible things online. It's gross. It's very gross. If I ever see their ship sailing on the 7 seas, I'm firing the cannons, you know what I mean? This is gross. I really don't like it. And if I had it my way, they wouldn't have a platform to find children on. Pretty gross. And wouldn't you know it, right on cue, as his big February 20 whatever, where he was going to do another weigh-in at this time of the year, a whole year, and show all the trolls how much weight he lost. Now, it seems like he stopped using Ozempic or whatever he was using, meth maybe, and now he's starting to gain that weight back. Because after all this fiasco, and now he's trying to separate himself from the Discord server and the people, Nova's a sad boy. Oh. And now the only thing that can cheer him up is eating his fill. Gluttony. But now he's just getting fatter, and now, luckily for him, he's upset, and he's thinking about taking his life. Game ending himself. Obviously, I don't care at all, but this is a fake, a fake cry for help to get sympathy online because something bad happened to me. I got outed for being a piece of crap, worst of the worst, and now I'm gonna end it, guys. I'm thinking about ending it. And the only thing that can cheer me up is Arby's. His constant feed reviews are disgusting when he's surrounded with that greasy hair. He looks like Peter Griffin from that one clip in Family Guy.
Pat, you look like you're getting ready to ride a moped in Thailand.
Oh, I'm late.
The hair doesn't know yet that he doesn't need a briefcase for work.
But yeah, writing on one of our last topics on Nova Online is, of course, the fact that he's now threatening to end his life, game end, because he got outed for being a PDF file. Again, and again. And this takes the cake because as someone who's apparently like, pro mental health and everything else in between, it's crazy that you're faking this, threats because you got outed. Basically, what I'm seeing is it's a dilemma. It's if you guys don't stop telling everybody that I'm a PDF file and showing everybody proof, then I'm going to take my own life. Dead man tell no tales. It's gross, and I don't like. I've had people in my life, Captain Personal Story Time. I've had people in my life who's dealt with this. It's a hard thing to watch. It's not easy, and with those kind of people, you don't cheer them up. You can't just spend a day with them, ordering them food, or make them happy. That's not how depression works. Depression that leads into whatever leads you to be suicidal. It's pretty disheartening to watch, and to see someone you care about like lose their will to live in such a drastic manner is terrifying. I've seen it, and it's pretty scary. You know what I mean? I've been really depressed, and I've been at the bottom of the barrel. But man, I would never fake suicidal thoughts just for sympathy on TikTok. I wouldn't be opposed to. Taking down his TikTok account, you know what I mean? I don't know how we're gonna have to. Can we petition? Let's make a petition to take down Nova Online's TikTok. But apparently they're done with Discord and now moving to something called Telegram. I don't know what that is. Probably nothing good if people like Nova are willing to flee to it because Discord's now being raided by everybody. So basically what this means is, all right, we can't use Discord because people figure out about Discord too easily. So let's use this other form of method to find a way to talk to people that is harder to track and maybe harder to find. I don't know about you, mateys, but I've never used Telegram, so I don't want to know how to use it to find anything. Luckily, we have awesome people like Chin Universe and Bloodspeth to always make sure that if there's degeneracy, they got it. So at the end of this, I want to give a huge shout out to Bloodspeth and of course Chin Universe, Smokey MCC, and Kiwi Tapes, Antimatter Morty, Major Chinchilla, all of them for covering the whole Nova Discord fiasco in great detail. It was a little messy to track, but luckily with a few good videos, I got it understood because I was looking at the stuff myself, all the pictures and the screenshots of messages and everything else in between, and I watched Major Chinchilla's and Bloodspeth's live streams on it a little bit, so just so I could get an understanding of it. I like to watch their live streams so I get a better understanding of what happened. That way I get my words in order, but I never watch enough to take away from them. I'm not trying to rip one for one, but I will use their talking points and maybe some of their screenshots because again, I'm not going to his Discord and getting that myself. I mean, one of the biggest reasons I don't use Discord is because of people like Nova. I mean, this is sickening. Why would I want to be on a platform or in a server that could have someone else like Nova in it? I'm not dealing with that. I would like to wrap this video up, mateys, by saying, please unsubscribe from Nova's TikTok. We know where it is. We know the name of it. We can find it if we need it. But do not be supporting this degenerate loser and his degenerate loser of friends. This is awful. and people are awful, and I'm tired of seeing it on the internet. I'm tired of seeing, like, if Nova Online at the end of the day had like 1,000, you know, viewers on his TikTok, like 1,000 like followers or whatever. I almost said subscribers. If he had 1,000 followers, it wouldn't be too big of a deal. I mean, that's mostly just an echo fart chamber anyways, so it wouldn't be too much of a deal. But he has a lot, too much for a known PDF file on the internet. That's my biggest problem with this, is there are too many people willfully subbing or following him just to laugh at him, but you're still kind of supporting a PDF file. And what's worse than a PDF file? Someone who supports a PDF file. Well, that's all I have of this one, mateys. I hope you had a good one. I hope you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Farewell, ya mateys.